Alright guys, welcome to another little video. So today we are going to be talking about fair value gaps, and per usual we are going to introduce these guys first by talking about what they are and why they are beneficial to us. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Okay. Fair value gaps / imbalances. Okay, you guys will hear me talk about both of these. It's pretty much the same shit. There's no reason for me to use any different name for them. That's literally just how that shit goes. I end up just saying the names like interchangeably. So whenever you hear fair value gap, whenever you hear imbalance, it's pretty much the same shit. Okay, so first of all, what are they? Okay, so the reason why I like to say imbalances is because it's an imbalance of market orders. Okay, and okay, that's kind of as simple as I could put it. So it's an imbalance of market orders, and it's a price range that lacks orders in the opposite direction of market sentiment. So when we go into identifying them, it'll be a lot more obvious where you guys will see what I'm talking about. But for the time being, just try and understand this, okay? It's an imbalance of market orders, meaning there's a lot more buy orders, or there's a lot more sell orders than buy orders. There's a lot more buy orders than sell orders. And it's a price range, again, that lacks orders in the opposite direction of the market sentiment. So again, if we see just like a huge influx in price and we make an imbalance, that price range typically lacks orders, right? So if we see a bunch of buy orders and we see an imbalance get formed, that price range will typically lack a lot of sell orders. Okay, and same thing. If we see a big rip down, okay, if we see a big rip down, that price range, and we make an imbalance, that price range typically lacks buy orders. Okay, so why is this beneficial? This is going to be a quick one. Why is this beneficial to us? Well, first of all, if we know, well, let me just write it out first. Damn. Okay. Why is this beneficial to us? If price revisits that price range, so again, let's say we see a big rip up and we see an imbalance get formed, and we know that that imbalance is lacking sell orders, and we see price revisit that price range where there's a huge imbalance, where there's a lack of sell orders within there, and we see price revisit that area, and we see buying power out of that range with the same market sentiment, right? So if market ripped up, we see an imbalance, we revisit that, and then we see buying power out, right? That's the same sentiment with overall market bias or market direction. We can assume that more buy orders were filled within there, and price will be able to continue in the direction that it was going because more buy orders were filled within that imbalance where a lack of sell orders were. Make sense? And that's all it is. That's why it's beneficial to us. And it helps us predict where the market wants to continue to go. And you guys will see a lot more information on that when we talk about identifying them. Okay, but for now, we just need to understand it. Okay, fair value gaps are an imbalance of market orders, and it's a price range that lacks orders in the opposite direction of market sentiment. And why is that beneficial to us? Because when or if price revisits that price range with the lack of orders, and then we see buying power or selling power out of that range with the same market sentiment, right? Like either that rip up or that rip down, we can assume that more orders were filled and price will continue in that direction that price was going. So this is like a continuation confluence. Okay, and we'll see when we put everything together how this can benefit us. Okay, this is a super, super useful tool. Okay, now different than liquidity, right? And this is something I should have mentioned about order blocks as well. Liquidity can be used as a draw, as like a magnet for where price wants to go to, right? Because it's seeking to fill orders. Versus this and order blocks are continuation confluences. Meaning when we seek liquidity and we fill orders, right? We're constantly seeking those highs and lows within the market to keep filling orders, to keep the market moving. Versus these are just continuation confluences, meaning they don't necessarily have to get hit to keep market going in the direction. Right? That's why I said if price revisits that price range and we see buying and selling power out of it. Right? Because it's just the possibility. Most of the time, does it happen? Yeah, but sometimes it won't happen. Okay, this is just extra confluence that price is going to continue in the direction that it was going in the first place. And I'll explain more on that when we get into identifying these things. Okay, but for the time being, this is what I want you guys to understand. It's an imbalance of market orders. It's either lacking buy orders or lacking sell orders, depending on what direction that big move up or down was. Okay, and if price revisits that price range where we saw the lack of buy or sell orders, and we see buying power or selling power out of that range, depending on what the market sentiment was, we can assume more orders were filled and price will continue in the direction that it was going. Cool. Continuation confluence. Order block is also a continuation confluence. Something I forgot to mention. We'll go ahead and cover that super quick right now. So same thing, right? We know that, boom, this leg up is the order block. Does price have to, is price needing to come back up in here in this price range to fill those orders? No. But if it does, and if we see selling power out of that, we can assume that more sell orders were filled and price is going to continue in the direction to the downside. It's the same thing with imbalances and fair value gaps. Okay, same thing to the downside, to the upside. We see the sweep. This is the order block, right? This leg down. Do we have to revisit this price range? No, price could just move higher and higher and higher if that liquidity sweep was all it needed. But if price revisits this area, and if we see buying or selling power, or in this case, buying power out of it, we can assume that price is going to continue higher. Cool? Cool. Okay. So, that being said, fair value gaps, day 1, part 1, locked in, strapped up, we're good to go. All right? I will see you guys whenever the next video is. All right? Peace out.